Hey guys, in this video we're going to create this portfolio website in Adobe XD. And by the way, you can also find the source file for free in the link in the description. Now, this is part of a course on Adobe XD which I'm creating, so check out soon on that. And without further ado, let's jump into the video. So let's get started and let's create this website design. So as you can see in the source file, we're going to have a few images on the left, which we're going to use as assets. But for now, the only thing that we're gonna do is we're going to click on artboard, and then we're going to click on this web 1920. So as you can see, we have this artboard with 1920 pixel width and 1080 of height. And what we're gonna do is we're actually going to make the height even higher, since we're going to need quite a bit of space for working on this website portfolio. So the very next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to open up the keyboard viewer so that you can see each and every keyboard action which is going to happen. And let's get started from the very top. So this is going to be a fictional redesign of my website. So I'm just going to write the title, which is just going to be a personal brand, so my name and surname. And then we're going to add the menu items. So we're going to have an about section, a services, then a portfolio, and a contact section. All right. So the very first thing that we want to do when we're creating a new project is we want to start establishing the font right away. So the font that we're gonna go with is going to be the Google Web font called Lato. And you can see that, and we're also going to have to probably use another font, which is Merriweather. So if you simply go at fonts.google.com, or you can even just Google Web Fonts, you can see that over here on the top right, we're going to have a Browse Fonts button. So you can simply search for Lato directly here. You can click on it and you can download the font family. Now, this is a free web font, so you can download it for free. You don't even need to sign up or have an account. So let's go ahead and let's use Lato right here, and let's get started with trying and figure out the right dimensions for these fonts right here. So we're going to go probably with around 17. Let's give it a shot, and let's try. Actually, let's make them just a little bit bigger, since wanted to pop up a little bit more. And let's try and make it bold, medium. Yeah, that will work. And I haven't created this website before. I mean this redesign. So you can see the entire process of what it looked like to actually create one from scratch in real life. There's going to be a bit of trial and error. Like, I have an idea of what we're aiming for, but a lot of it is just going to be trying ideas out on the software, and then seeing how it looks in this specific occasion. All right, so far so good. And now let's go ahead and we're going to add a headline and also a sub-headline and also a picture, so that, you know, in this portfolio item, in this portfolio website, whenever a user hops on the website, he can immediately see who the person is behind this portfolio. So I'm just going to drag and drop my picture here. And as you can see, we have this issue of having a lot of white space around the left and right edges, and I want to just have the image more contained. So what we're gonna do, if you recover from the masks lesson, is we're going to create a rectangle, and let's change the color, and we're going to make it 70% opacity, so we can see more or less where the rectangle fits according to the image. And I'm going to bring the rectangle below the image. I'm going to select both, and then I'm going to use the mask tool. So I'm just going to click here, right click, mask with shape. As you can see now, the image is more contained. So we're going to try something else, which is use a background color right here on the top. We're just going to create a big rectangle, bring it all the way to the back, and we're going to use this color fill right here. Maybe let's change the color just a bit. And as you can see, we have our background color, and we can go ahead and make these ones white, for example. Maybe we can consider having the background color all the way down. So that's what we're gonna do actually, and let's just I'm just going to zoom out a little bit and probably just try and keep a reminder for a footer. So yeah, that will be it. All right, cool. However, I want this to be even more I just want to make it centered just a little bit more, and also cropped on the top, so it's just going to look a little bit more balanced in the composition. All right, so far so good. So at this point I want to start using the grid layout so that we can have basically some structure in the website page. So we're going to go with 12 column grids. I think this is going to be fine. And let's bring this one here, this one here. Or actually, maybe we can center these guys. And when it comes to the grids, my best suggestion is to actually, if you're starting a project from scratch, or maybe you're dealing with a new client and they already have a website going on, my suggestion when it comes to selecting the right grid format would be to actually try a grid format and then ask the developer that you're going to work with if all is good with the first page, so that basically you're going to have a green light for all of the pages to come, because there's nothing more annoying than having to change the grid in say 12 pages or so. So I always like to sync in with the developers and really be sure that this is something that they're happy with, the overall direction. So okay, so far so good. Now I'm going to simply copy and paste a headline, which is it's quite long, but if you recall from the typography lessons, we can simply select this option right here, which is the area text. We can also make it 300 pixels, for example, and then we can easily just tweak around the size and the properties, and let's make this one smaller, and let's go ahead and let's just try and create a headline. So overall this is starting to look pretty good, and let's add just a little bit of line height in between. Maybe let's make the text even bigger. All right, so far so good, and let's go ahead and let's create a duplicate of this. Let's go ahead and let's make the text smaller. So all right, it's going to look pretty good. And I mentioned before that we're probably going to explore some other typography options, such as going with Merriweather. I'm not too sure about it, since I like this direction where we're going with you know, the open sans, the the source, basically the sans serif option. I was thinking about the next move at the same time, so sometimes it's difficult to think ahead and talk at the same time, but we're gonna make it, so all good. So yeah, what I was thinking about is actually that we can have a call to action button here, because this would be really good as a way to actually have a call to action to book a discovery call, and this is going to make sense in just a moment, so bear with me guys, and let's bring this text above. And cool, all right, so basically we're having this call to action button, and overall this is really it's all looking good. And maybe we can consider a different color for the call to action. A color I could probably work pretty well is something around the lines of yeah, like a very light yellow. Maybe we can make this guy black. So we're going with a bold approach here. It's not really the safer call to action colors, but yeah, let's do it. I don't mind. We can go ahead and really make this very bold, and yeah, overall looking good. Maybe just a little bit of less roundedness to the button, but yeah, so far so good. Now we're going to move down and we're going to use this section in order to show the portfolio. So let's make this smaller, and or even before the portfolio, maybe we can add some lines on the as an about us section. But actually, let's go ahead and let's just create the portfolio. I'm probably going to have a divider line just to make it clear that we're dealing with a different section. And cool, maybe also let's make this divider line smaller. All right, yeah, so far so good. And I want to center this. I want to center these guys and center it across the page. So far so good. This is looking pretty cool. And now we're going to leverage these portfolio items. So we're just going to go with these four, I think, and let's go ahead and let's try and make them fit well in the grid system. So we have this first one, have the second one, and let's go ahead and let's add these ones as well. Now I want to have them like this, and I'm probably thinking that we might want a call to action of some sorts to view more, and maybe also some descriptive text beneath each and every one of these. So I'm just going to add the call to action below in order to get this other option out of the way. So it's going to be view portfolio. This is going to redirect to a page specifically for the portfolio item. And I'm going to change the style in this one, since I want this to be a secondary button. I don't want to have the same emphasis as in the previous one. So we're gonna go with 2 pixels. Also going to make the bottom just a little bit smaller, and also the text just a bit smaller as well. Center this, let's group it together, and boom, we have it. All right, let's go ahead and let's create some smaller text right here, and I'm going to use some lorem ipsum, which by the way, you can also use, you can simply create a area text, and then you can go on the very top right section under help, just search for placeholder, and you're going to find a way to actually add the placeholder, some placeholder text real quick. But the easiest way, and the one which I use all the time, is simply copying some either some random text, some random paragraph text, or some Libsyn text. It's all totally fine. So it's going to be portfolio UI kits, and we're gonna make this one bold. And probably let's just keep it around one line. So this is pretty much going to be just a teaser for this portfolio item. It's not really going to be showing the entire portfolio. Let's do the same over here. And yeah, so far so good. Let's add some numbers just to visually differentiate it right away. And let's go ahead here for point. Cool. So far this is looking pretty good. And maybe let's add just a little bit of visual differentiation here. So far so good. We have the big header, then we have the portfolio section below. I think this is looking pretty slick so far. I'm not really seeing any major flaws or things that I want to change all that much in this section, so this is pretty good. All right, so the very next thing that we're gonna do is we're going to select this guy right here, the rectangle, and unlock it, and then bring the height up even more. And by doing this, we can essentially have some more space, obviously. And I'm using it this way since I'm already starting to think, what can I add afterwards? And after that, I think that I'm just going to go and use a testimonial. So let's actually do that. And just going to go ahead and duplicate this, and maybe we're going to right align it this time, or left align it actually. So what clients say about me, and just keep it like this. Let's bring it all the way here. So I'm not sure why this is like this. Okay, we sorted it out, and I'm going to duplicate this. I just copied a text from as a lorem ipsum kind of text, kind of not. So yeah, let's go ahead here. Let's add this this testimonial, which is quite long, and yeah, we're going to add just some XYZ. I'm just making up this this name and company, and yeah, we're pretty much good to go. So I want to copy this this same style. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go here, copy, and paste. And for some reason, actually I think I already got the same style. So I'm just going to create a smaller version right here, and I'm just going to add this as the main testimonial. Maybe let's not make it bold, let's make it medium size. That will work. And I'm actually thinking about using a different background color for this section, which might as well be black, just to give it some a little bit of visual differentiation, so we can really make this this section pop out a little bit more when you're scrolling down the page. And we're going with a pretty minimal approach, and again, I'm just going to go ahead here, add some more testimonials for this section. And yeah, again, we're just going with a minimal approach, so no images, nothing too complicated, and just going to change up the names. And we're going to go here, change this one up even more. And what I'm gonna do next is, since this is starting to look pretty cool, I'm going to go ahead and add a contact form. Then we're going to close everything up with a good old footer. So let's go here, let's make this this contact form. So just going to bring this one down here, going to bring this one here as well, and going to have this contact me section, and write some text. If you're interested in contacting me, please fill up the form below. And let's go ahead here and let's create some input fields, which are going to span across 4 columns. All right, so far so good. And what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to bring all of this all the way up, and I'm going to change the color, this one here, just a little bit. So here we're going to have a full name. We're also going to have a little bit of more size right here. Also going to duplicate this. And let's go ahead and let's create the email section right here. And we're going to have right below it the message section, which is going to take the vast majority. So your message. Cool. And now what we're gonna do is going to make this one just a little bit bigger, and we're going to use this big button, which is almost too big now that I'm re-looking at it. Let's make it just a little bit smaller. Okay, that will do. We're going to copy it, paste it right here, and going to say send message. All right, so far so good. So the very next thing that we're gonna do is we're going to create a footer. So let's go ahead here, lock the layer, bring all these guys up, and then what we're gonna do is we're going to duplicate this one as well and make it black. Or actually, let's just simply go ahead for the footer. We're going to simply duplicate these text right here, bring it down, make it full black, and bring it over here. And what we're gonna do next is we're going to simply select the entire artboard, bring it up just a little bit, and cool, we pretty much got our design. I just want to modify a little bit the space in between these elements right here, and also these ones here. Cool, so far so good. Now the very next thing that I'm gonna do, I'm also going to get rid of this one since we didn't use it in the end, is I'm going to remove the grids layout. I'm just going to have a check overall and see if everything is actually looking good, and yeah, it seems so. So you might want to just tweak around some elements here and there, just be sure that everything is perfect, such as the distances between elements and all of these things. And then the very last step in order to create a website design would be to actually order all of the elements together. So the way that I would approach it is I would rename the single names. So you can simply double click on a layer and you can rename it. So pretty straightforward, doesn't take all that much time. And the way that I would do it is I would afterwards is I would simply select the elements which should be grouped together, such as these ones, and I will use Command plus G. You can also right click once you have a group of elements, and you can simply click on group, and then I would simply rename the groups just one point head, and going to bring it all the way up, and I'm going to clean them up real quick. I'll try to make it practical. I won't go into the minute details since that would take a lot of time, and usually it's the most boring thing to watch someone clean up a design file. So I really respect your time, and the main idea, like, you totally understood it. It's pretty straightforward, really. So we're just going to go ahead and try and do this in a fast and efficient way. So photo, this is going to be the head section. So this is going to be 2.1 point head, and we're going to also rename this section right here. This is going to be the portfolio. So over here we have portfolio item 1, PI1, and then we have PI2, then we have PI3. There are also some useful plugins which you can use and that I showed in the plugins video on that are going to enable you to create and to rename and clean up the files even faster. One of it is rename it, and yeah, so feel free to use those ones as well whenever you want. In this case, we're just going to go the old school way since we don't have a lot of we don't really have like all that much craziness, if you wish, going on. 3-point portfolio, and then we're going to simply group the different testimonials into single groups. So this is going to be 2, this is going to be 1, this is going to be 3. Just going to select all of this together, group it, 4-point testimonial, and here we go. We have the contact section. Simply going to group these two guys together. You can also rename the rectangle of the input field, but for the time being it's going to be name, it's going to be email, and message. And the send call to action. We're going to have the footer. All right, so let's go ahead and let's just group all of these together to 5 contacts, and let's bring it all the way down. Let's see Oh, we had an extra line. So as you can see, we can remove that one. We can change this one to background. And yeah, so far so good. Let's just drag and drop these ones in the right orders. As you can see, very easy. As long as you see that that line in between, you're simply going to be able to basically bring them down or up a notch. So all right, so far so good. We have the final website design. So really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please leave a thumbs up, as this motivates me to create even more videos for you guys. And I've been a UI UX designer for over 8 years, working both as a freelancer and as a part-time and full-time contractor. And I share my experience for free on my YouTube channel, and I have over 300 videos. So if you're interested in software tutorials and also on business advice, or if you want to become a freelancer, or if you want to work at a top company, feel free to check out my channel, as I have plenty of content. And also the source file is going to be included below, so check out on that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.